heard people talk about a mouse for a while. It's kind of like I was thinking of a real live animal mouse. My mouse isn't dead. Okay, glad we're recording. It's 8:33. This is the it's August. It's the 17th, isn't it? Oh my gosh, mayor manager meeting. All right.
In the room?
Oh, yeah. In the room. In the team's room are, let's see, who's all here? Linda Olson, Jade Truscott-Reed, Nathaniel Sierra, Sean Lewis, Stephanie Carlisle, Tamara Niles, and Tim Dodd. Nobody else is on, are they?
No. That's all I see.
Okay, that's all I see too.
All right, well, we'll start with August 23rd. We have the July financial report. These are all study sessions. The second one is update on and request for feedback on Oxford Ped Bridge design. The outcomes of the off-leash dog task force discussions, as well as the Parks and Rec Committee discussions. 911 call diversion. And I'm looking at, it looks like we've assigned times to all these, so that's good. And then discuss discontinuation of the emergency alert sirens. Draft proposed budget discussion follow-up. We don't believe we need this. Jade, have you heard otherwise, or Stephanie?
I have not.
Or
yet.
Tim? All right.
Need what? We don't need to have the.
Right, we think we can take that placeholder for our budget discussion because I don't think there were, the only unresolved item that was there was the discussion about whether or not to, you know, have the police trainee replace another position. But Tim, if I'm not mistaken, it's August 25th that we find out about the property tax. So that's well in advance of when we would need to know, have this budget for first reading.
That's correct. It's next Wednesday.
Right. So I think we might have given Steve and council the misimpression that, you know, it's going to be after you do first reading that we have that additional money in hand. So we'll definitely have that, and we're confident that can pay for both of those positions and then potentially put some money into capital as well.
Yeah, I think that was I don't know, it might have been a misunderstanding. I heard that she said it would be by the end of the month. So,
okay.
So I think we're fine. Why don't we just put that would come back to us in September then, right? With some more information, because we're not meeting on the.
Yeah, I don't remember when first reading, or I guess it'd be public hearing is, but we should have it by then.
Yeah, okay. Then that'll just go into public hearing.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one is a preview of an open space proclamation with regard to the extension of the tax. That'll be on your agenda. And Mayor, I do want to let you know, they actually asked for a resolution, and I suggested that it might be easier to get a proclamation through, but I really, that needs to come from you and Mayor Pro Tem on how to put that on. But they did request a resolution, but currently we've got it in a proclamation format.
So they're asking for us. Okay, so I see what they're, yeah.
Just to support lifting the sunset.
Yeah, right. And so we would, but so, but that's on for next week. When did they want it by?
Well, this is just your process for proclamations where you have to preview it at the end and then it goes on the following meeting. So I think they were fine with our timing. We've got it right on here.
Let's ask if we can do it as a resolution that night.
Okay.
Why not ask, say you know, why can't we just put it on as a resolution? They can vote yes or no.
We could. Like I said, I just thought that it might be an easier lift if it was a proclamation.
Okay. We can ask. Let's ask.
Do you still want it to be reviewed as a proclamation on the 23rd? Or do you just want it to go on to the 7th as a resolution with no review?
We need to talk about it. Let's talk about it. So what would be brought forward next week then? Would be a proclamation, and then we'd suggest that it could be stronger if we did a resolution, or what they asked for was a resolution? Or do we come bring forward a resolution and say, if you don't feel comfortable with this, we can do a proclamation?
Yeah, we'll change all we've done is just put the regular proclamation heading in the old English style font. We'll just change it to the normal resolution,
Mhm.
but have it during mayor's choice to see if they want to put it on the next agenda.
Okay, sounds good. Does that work for you, Nathaniel?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. All right. So yes, Stephanie and Jade helped me remember to reformat that a bit, but it has been reviewed by Christina and I believe Tamara, that I sent that to you and Stephanie.
Yes.
Great. All right, and then moving on to September 7th, we have one study session memo, and that's on the scooter rental pilot program for deployment in Inglewood. And then
That in 10 minutes?
presentation is 15. Oh, you're saying discussion in 10?
Oh, can he do the presentation in 10 minutes?
I can certainly reach out and ask.
I don't know if he can. I mean, I'd make my students do something in 10 minutes like that. He wants to, pitches are 3 minutes.
I think so far that's our only study session memo,
Oh, it is.
or study session, and I know we did run into that problem of timing of the meetings.
7 p.m. So maybe we do need to give them 15 minutes. Okay.
Just something to consider.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So yeah, and on that, yeah, go ahead, put 15 if that's what they've asked for. Do we
All
have
right.
any in the wings for our study sessions that we should be putting in if we've got more time?
Well, I was just thinking about the request last night that we had, and I'm blanking on it, but
Inglewood, the EAF study session.
Yeah.
yes, Eve.
What happens to Eve in the midst of this?
I think we could be ready for that by September 7th. But
Okay.
could check with Maria and Jackie.
That be the people responsible for this study session.
Yes, it would be Maria DeAndre and Jackie Lowe. Because there were two questions. One, what have we already made the payment, the early payment on the bonds? And then the second one is now what can we do to dissolve Eve? We have been working with our outside counsel on that. I know that question has been posed. Our outside counsel, because I believe he helped start Eve, he's not been terribly cooperative on that, but we'll continue trying to get some information on it.
Why?
I think he has a lot of pride of ownership in it, which is nice. I'm sure that he's been a great attorney for that reason, but not as good when you're trying to dissolve.
It's gotten a lot of guff probably in the process because I mean, do we have to use them?
I would defer to Tamara on that.
If he's not being cooperative and he's got too much ownership and wants to see it going and it needs to be, I don't know what needs to happen to it. I'm not going to guess on that. So
I think that would be a decision for the Eve board if they wish to continue using him or retain somebody else.
yeah.
All right.
It's probably going to be a big discussion too, so perhaps the scooters should go back down to 10.
Okay.
I'm actually thinking, Mayor, I'm not sure what else is on this agenda for the 7th. I'm thinking that we want to push the Eve discussion to the following week.
Why? Why? You think it's not enough time?
I'm guessing with the public hearing plus public comment, I'm expecting public comment to go very long on the 7th.
But our issue is whether or not we have to start at 7 p.m. That's the issue so, I mean, it doesn't really matter if we have to start at 7 p.m. and people feel like we have to start at 7 p.m. for the regular meeting. Or maybe it's just the public comments at 7, but there's nothing else really before it other than.
So wait, do we make a decision that
that-
we're starting public comment at 7 o'clock now?
Were you there that night when we talked about that?
Maybe you were.
Maybe you were. What?
Well, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
I think it was the night that Othniel was out that Rita brought that issue up.
Yeah, so she brought up that people didn't know that things were starting before 7 p.m. because our history has always been start the regular meeting at 7. So when we went back to this being back in the building again, that people assumed that it's at 7 p.m., but it's not posted anywhere that it's 7 p.m. But there was a place where in information, I think it said 7, but not in the posting. Is that correct, Stephanie?
Yeah, and we've changed all the language anywhere on the website or calendars that state a 7 p.m. start. And our meetings have, since we've come back to in-person, have always been posted as one continuous meeting starting at 6.
So I just think we should not be, so, and something went out, I mean, there was some kind of a flyer that went out telling people that we were having a meeting at 7. Does anybody know what that is yet? I have.
Mayor, I did do some investigation on that and talked to the council candidate who spoke during public comment, and she did indicate that she had seen a flyer, but she didn't have it in her possession. And so we brought over Brooks, the man that she said gave it to her. And he said, no, I had a flyer about a 7 p.m. public hearing start for, I think it must have been for either Civic Center, I mean, for, the downtown development or another topic. So I talked to Rita during the break, and she said, oh, okay, well, I just wanted to make sure that we looked into what it was. But neither of the people reporting that could confirm that it was a council meeting flyer.
Okay, it wasn't a city flyer, was somebody telling them that it's, or do we know?
Well, Brooks thought that it was a city flyer, but he just didn't think it was for city council. Or Brooke, I'm sorry, I don't know for sure his name.
Yeah, it might have been one of those neighborhood things at some point. So okay, so that said, then I think we can do the meeting whenever we want and start. So you think that's too much that night, Othniel, and we can.
Yeah, just because we're talking about off-leash dogs next week. And so I'm expecting the public to come and speak.
Yeah.
During the comment on the 7th, so.
And
Okay.
we also moved another executive session to that evening.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I think you're right. Let's keep Bird at 10 minutes. And then there'll be discussion, and the discussion will go on. Sorry, we've not gotten very far, have we? It's 8:45.
So the following
problem.
meeting after the 7th would be the 13th, which we do have the tour scheduled. Do you want Eve to go on that night as well, or would you prefer Eve to go on the 20th?
I thought that the 13th we were not going to have a meeting. Were we going to have a meeting afterwards?
Yes, well, it was our understanding that there would be a normal meeting after your driving tour, but.
Oh, okay.
Stephanie, Jade, is that incorrect? Anyone?
I've not
So-
heard your direction. Jade, do you have information?
Stephanie,
what
we're
I
having trouble
remember-
hearing you.
Yeah, I'll work on my microphone.
What I remember was we had discussed not adding additional things to possibly accommodate that, but from what I remember, and I could be remembering wrong, you guys wanted to be open to consider additional items because it is getting over, it's starting at 4 p.m. and getting over it. So we can add that, however council would like to go, or we can move it to a different night.
I'd prefer to keep it without any items if possible, but if our hands are tied and we have to, then I guess for the eve, let's move it to the 20th would be my preference.
That's
Good,
a great meeting. Yeah.
All right, are we good on that?
Yeah.
So sorry, it looks like I just got booted and then got back in. So I'm afraid I might have missed a comment.
I don't think you did.
We're going to try not to have anything on the 13th after.
Okay.
Okay, where are we? I'm
Back to the
totally
s-
lost.
We're back
What's
at,
that? Sorry, Linda, where are we?
I think we're back on the 7th.
Okay, can you roll back up to the top of the 7th, Jade?
I don't think she's hearing you.
Okay. Well, I'll just read the one that's up at the top of the list. CB. Okay.
Finishing up the 7th.
Okay. All right. So after the
On the 7th?
yes, right. This is where we are, right? The public hearing for Inglewood planned PUD. Yes. All right. So we have a public hearing for the PUD at 1070 West Hampden Avenue. Consideration of alley improvements improvement agreement in the 3900 block of Broadway and Tacoma. Broken T Golf Course Back 9 irrigation renovation. Amendments to 2019 City of Inglewood Council policies regarding electronic participation proclamations. Award of contract for the US 285 congestion mitigation study. Tri-Cities homelessness plan of action. First reading pertaining to City Council consideration of an ordinance to approve the DDA Downtown Development Plan. Dissolution of Alliance for Commerce in Inglewood. Amendments to the fire code for outdoor heating elements and review of city manager.
Great.
And we have time. There was only one study session and we had put times on it, right? Yes.
We did.
Great. All right. Moving down to the next meeting.
Sorry, we actually don't have the discussion time for the bird study session unless I missed it and I apologize. Could I please get that time one more time?
You are right. We didn't give you one.
Oh, okay.
15
15
minutes.
minutes?
15 or 10?
15, I would think.
Yep. That should be sufficient.
Thank you.
Good catch. So September 13th, we have the tour from 4 to 6 with no items on that, and we'll try to keep that clear. And then September 20th, public consumption areas within Inglewood. And the study session for EAF will be that night. And then the proposed 2022 budget public hearing. And then we will have the proposed ARPA spending topic. Framework agreement with LNR. First reading on Inglewood Station PUD. Discussion of public consumption areas. Okay, so this is first reading, great. Public consumption areas, first reading. And that's it for the 20th. Any questions?
Nope.
On the 27th, we have draft proposed 2020 budget workshop. Okay, if needed, yeah. So we'll put that as a placeholder. And then August monthly financial report. On October 4th, first reading of the budget. October 18th, recognition of Will Charles and Eric Sampson for passing their American Institute of Certified Planners exam. And then October 25th, September monthly financial report. There are your study session topics.
And Sean, there were 2 items you just referenced regarding public consumption. Those are duplicates. So I will go in and delete one.
Okay. All right, and then I am pulling up last night's. So there were 2, I got 2, and I'm sure other people got some council requests as well. One was about the flyer that went out with the council. I may go ahead and enter that one, but I did talk to Rita. And I'll check with her on what she wants to do now
Yep.
that there's confusion on it.
Yeah, go ahead and put it, because all of us heard it and would prefer to find out what happened.
Okay, great. And then also, what state board oversees medical issues discussed during public comment. Get that pulled together. Were there any other council requests that people heard?
Councilmember Ward had requested, can and should we disclose the name of the employee and the purpose of executive session regarding that employee? I don't know if we want to treat that as a formal council request or something else.
Well, if it's dependent on me, I certainly don't care.
Yeah, yeah, I think in the past we have said, what it was. I just wasn't sure why it said we had two different things, one with personnel. Matter of fact, we talked openly, I think last year about what would be in that conversation, right, Sean?
I don't know. I really try to stay out of all things my evaluation.
Well, no, I think we talked to you about what would be in it in open. I don't know. Anyway, whatever is appropriate by our own policy or laws is fine with me. And if you don't care about having, yes, we're doing your review, I think it's actually helpful for the public to know we do reviews. They don't need to be a part of those reviews.
We can try to include general information on the agendas, which will always just clear through the city attorney's office, perhaps on the agendas, if that's what you prefer. We've done it sometimes and we've not done it sometimes. So
Yeah,
we'll try to just include maybe any further details that can be included.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
That sounds good to me too.
Tamara, when do we do is it a 90-day one we said we're going to have, or 6 months?
Oh, I believe my contract says both 90 days and 6 months. And my 90 days is, I started June 7th, so it would be September 7th.
Oh,
Coming up.
yeah. So we need an executive session for both then. Unless we do one night and yours the following.
Whatever
Do you
your
think council would rather have two or one combined?
Wait, did that night look long? That's the dog night, right? Is that, Nathaniel?
Yeah, it's a long night with a public hearing.
I know, just from a transparency perspective, I like to limit the number of executive sessions we have.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I suppose I would consider combining them. But either way is fine. Legally, it's fine.
Finding them and bringing you in at different times.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Well, let's do them both then. We can't put them off. And I have an ICMA document that I thought we would take a look at. So I'll send that. I need to look at it again today. That's what I was hoping to use something from that, so it's a little bit more formalized.
Great.
That's a lot that night, I know. I don't know how we're gonna. I don't know if we can do anything about it.
Well, what does the 13th? The 13th is a study session, isn't it? So we would have to make that regular too.
We could come back and do it then.
Oh wait, the 13th is what we're keeping open. Sorry.
I mean, we don't have to keep it open. So I wasn't involved in setting up the industrial sites thing. It must have been one of the nights I was gone. So I didn't know what that was, that had just come out of a request. How did that come about?
It was a request of, officially of community development, but it came out of some comments that were made during council meeting about, I think there was a question about, are we going to do the tours with ACE again? And, with ACE being half empty and voting to dissolve themselves, we scheduled this industrial tour up on the hill. We do have 5 council members who have RSVP'd as of this morning, according to community development.
Good.
And I just want to jump in and confirm, I had some technical difficulty where my sound was glitching pretty bad. So direction would be to keep that night clear for the rest of, for the September 13th, and then we did land with EVE on the 20th.
Yes, except now we're talking about putting something that night. Would it be weird, to put our executive sessions that night, or our reviews of you both that night? And have it be a special meeting? Well, Thania, what do you think?
I think that actually makes sense. I'm worried about the length of Monday's meeting or that Tuesday's meeting.
Yeah, I want to do justice by you all, giving you good time to get good feedback. Let's do that. Is that too weird? That's legally possible, right?
If we call it a special meeting and we call it to order, then yes, then you can adjourn into executive session. Tamara?
Yes, yes, that's right.
And can we put on it that it's to redo personnel reviews for
Yes, I
attorney?
believe so.
city
Yes.
manager?
Yeah,
So the public
fine.
will know. Yeah. Okay, I think that's a good fix for this, if you all don't mind. Great. Are we all set then? Are we done?
I believe so.
That's all.
All right. Time is 8:59 and the mayor manager meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
You too.